who's going to be my boss? Who's going to be my employer? Who will call the shots in this company that I will be working for? Who's going to be the boss? So the first thing the person looks at is the employer a person that I can work for? Is the boss a person that I can relate to? Is he a good person? Is he a person that I will be able to work down the road? Number one, a good boss. Number two, the second quality, the second factor that the individual looks at before applying or going for a job is that how far is this place from my house? The location of the job. The location of the job. If the location is such that it takes me 2 hours to go there, I will not get that job. I will not aim to get that job. That is not a job, or that is not some work that I want or I desire. The location is the factor that you and I look at while applying for a job. Is the location close to me? Is this place that I am applying for, is this an area or a location which is close to my house, that it is easy for me to commute there and come back home? Number two, location. Number three, the third factor that a person looks at is his pay. Is his pay. What is my salary? What is my yearly income? What am I receiving from my services from this job? What am I getting back? I'm giving my time, my talents, my skills, my effort, my everything for this job. What am I getting back from this job? The pay. What is my salary? First factor that a person looks at is his boss. Second factor is the location. Third factor is his pay. And the last one is the credibility of the employees that worked here in the past. Where do those employees stand today that worked here in the past? Where are their names in society? Are they people that are revered in society? Are they individuals which are respected in society? Are they humans which are honored in society? The credibility and the respect of the people that used to work at this place. How do people talk about these people that worked here before? How do people speak about them? Where do people rank them in their minds? Fourth thing, who were the people that took this job before me? Who were they? And what is their rank? What is their status? What is their credibility? So the four factors. If and when these four factors are found in a certain job, an individual will strive his utmost best to get this job. It has a good boss, good employer. He's nice to me. He lets me pray my salawat. He lets me go for Jum'ah. He gives me days off for Eid. He's a very polite and nice person. Number two, it's close to my house. Easy for me to commute back and forth. Number three, the pay is good. I'm getting good salary from here. Number four, the people that used to work at this job or at this location, now today, everyone speaks well of them. They are known and recognized as good people in society. They are looked at as respectable people in society. So it's four things. When we find these things, we will take that job. Now, you and I, we understand these four factors? Four factors. Does anyone disagree with me that these four factors are not necessary to get a good job? Anyone? These four factors are needed. Now, you and I have all been given a certain job, a certain work, a certain task, which Allah is relating to us in the Quran. He is saying, شَرَعَ لَكُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا وَصَّى بِهِ نُوحًا. Who is the employer of this job? Who is the boss? Who is the person that calls the shots for this job? Who is it? It is Allah. شَرَعَ لَكُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا وَصَّى بِهِ نُوحًا. Allah says, I'm the one that is giving you this job. I'm employing you. I'm the boss. I'm the one who you work for. I call the shots. I'm the person that's employing all of you. I'm the boss. So we have the greatest boss in the world. Who is? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can there be a greater boss than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Can there be a better person to rule us than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the most just? That deity, lahu mulku samawati wal ard. That deity, indahu khaza'inu samawati wal ard. That deity, yujul layla fin nahar. That person who controls the world. Can there be a better employer than him? No. The best employer is given to us. Best employer. Who were the former people? Former. that took this job. Who were they? Allah relates to us. شَرَعَ لَكُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا وَصَّى بِهِ نُوحًا. You know who had this job before you? You know who was given this task before you? None other than the great Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. The Prophet which called his ummah for 950 years consecutive towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 950. ألف سنة إلا 50 عاما. He continued and continued to call towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this job was given to Nuh. ما وصينا به نوحا والذي أوحينا إليك. Then Allah says that this job was given to Nuh, but it is also given to you, O Muhammad. It is, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It is also given to you in the way that Allah directs and talks to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is different from the way that he talks to Nuh. The way that Allah is holding a conversation with our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is different from the way that he was holding a conversation with Nuh. He said, "Shara alaykum min ad-din ma wasa bihi Nuha." Allah uses the word ma mawsula, which is if anyone knows Arabic, it is a general word. Then Allah says for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Walladhi awhayna ilayk." Allah uses the word of alladhi, which is ism mawsula for to be more specific, more nearness. Allah says, "I have also given you this job." وَالَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ مَا وَصَّيْنَا بِهِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَمُوسَى وَعِيسَى أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. Allah says the former people that were given this job were none other than the Ulul Azm. Were none other, do we know who the Ulul Azm were? فَاصْبِرْ كَمَا صَبَرَ أُولُو الْعَزْمِ مِنَ الرُّسُلِ. Have patience, forbearance, tolerance, like the 5 prophets of Ulul Azm, which were none other than Nuh, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa alayhi salatu and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this task was given to these respectable, honorable, revered prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can there be any employee in the world which has more respect than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Can there be any other employee in the world which has more honor than Musa alayhi salam and Isa? Can there? No. So the second factor, which was who were the former employees of this job? We have the best and the most honorable former employees of this job, which were the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet alayhi salam, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, 2 factors are gone. Third factor. Where do I practice this job? Where do I perform this task? Where can I use my abilities and skills and talents and efforts and time to strive and complete this task? Where do I do it? Where? Where's the location? How far is the location? How many hours or minutes do I have to commute to go to this location? Where do I do it? Allah says there is no location for this. Wherever you are, you can do this work. You can make this job happen. You can complete this task. Lastly, what is the pay for this job? What is the salary? The first factor was, who will be my boss? Second factor was, where is the location of this job that I am trying to apply for and get? Third factor was, who were the former employees of this job that I am getting? Last factor was, what is my income? What is my salary? What's in it for me? What am I getting from this? Allah says, what every single other prophet said, مَا لِي أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِنْ أَجْرِيَ إِلَّا عَلَى رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Our reward, our profit, our income is جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. Our income, our salary is وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُمْ حَيَاةً طَيِّبَةً وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Our salary is this, that Allah says, the person, the individual, the human that takes out this task, that performs this task, on the day of judgment, Allah will grant them paradise. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. This will be their profit. This will be their reward. The income that we get in this world, the salary that I receive from my job, it will last me how many months? Couple of months? 1 year? Then I have to start working again, get more salary, get more money. Allah says, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. You work once, you work one time, you perform one task, you complete one job, you succeed in one job, and Allah says the reward and the profit and the income will never finish. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. You won't have to work again. You won't have to go to work again. You won't have to start all over. Bank account at zero again after start working again. No, Allah says it will last forever. What's the fruits and benefits of this job? وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُمْ حَيَاةً طَيِّبَةً. Allah says, not only will the profit in the reward, in the income, in the salary be given to you and I in the hereafter. No, Allah says, no. I am not that cheap. Not only in the hereafter. Those individuals that perform this task and that use their talents and skills and their time to succeed in this task, Allah says, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُمْ حَيَاةً طَيِّبَةً. I will grant them a beautiful life. I will grant them a joyful life. I will grant them a prosperous life. That's not it. Allah doesn't stop there. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah's treasures do not finish. Allah's treasures do not have a limit. Allah's treasures do not have a finishing point. Like our employer says, listen, man, this is the income that I'm getting from this job, and this is my payroll. Yeah, I can't give anything else. It's all I have. It takes 5 fingers to make a fist. All my 5 fingers are closed. I can't do anything else. I'm done. Allah says, no. وَلَنَجْزِيَهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانَ. Allah will continue to give us. Continue to give us. And then we'll say to ourselves, is this all I'm getting? No. And then on the day of judgment, Allah will give us more and more. And then He will give us Jannat al-Firdaus. Now, what is this job? The boss is Allah. The former employees were the prophets. The pay is not comparable to any other pay in the world. The location is wherever and anywhere I am. I don't have to commute anywhere. What is the job then? What's the work that I have to do? If the reward is so great, if the former employees were so respectable, if the location is so simple and easy, what's the job? Where's the catch? The job is أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. 2 jobs Allah has given us. 2 tasks that Allah has given all the prophets, and now He has given us. And it starts from here. It starts from the heart. First task, أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ. Establishing deen in our lives. Establishing deen in our lives. Starting from my heart. Starting from my house. Starting from me. From my brothers. My sisters, my family, my household, my community. It's not them that's going to change. It's me that has to change. It's not my brother that will wake up for Fajr. It's I that I have to wake up for Fajr. It's not my sister that will wake me up for Tahajjud. It's I that I have to wake up for Tahajjud. It's not my parents that will tell me to stop swearing. I have to tell them to stop swearing. It's not my cousins and my friends and my relatives that will tell me, oh friend, oh brother, oh cousin, stop watching movies. It's going to be me that has to do this. Become the change that we want to see in others. أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. Establishing deen in my life. Establishing deen in my family. We've done too much of this. نَعِيبُ زَمَانَنَا وَالْعِيبُ فِينَا وَمَا لِزَمَانِنَا عِيبٌ سِوَانَا وَنَهْجُ ذَا الزَّمَانِ بِغَيْرِ ذَنْبٍ وَلَمْ يَتَقَ الزَّمَانُ لَنَا هَجَانَا. Imam Shafi rahimahullah, the great poet, says that we have done too much of this. We have gone past the limits of blaming people around us, blaming our families, blaming and taunting the time that we live in. Oh brother, you don't understand, man, it's the 21st century. Oh brother, you don't understand, I go to university here, I go to college, I go to high. You don't get it, man. It's different now. It's too much of that. وَالْعِيبُ فِينَا. The problem starts in this heart of mine. The problem is in here. The root of the problem is in here. It doesn't matter how I put makeup on myself and I cover myself up, or how I make myself look nice. At the end of the day, if the problem is in here, it's not going nowhere. At the end of the day, if the problem is still in here and I'm doing everything good, nothing will be fixed. So Allah tells us the first task that you have been given is to establish deen. Now Allah tells us the second task, which is greater than the first. وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. Do not cause separation in establishing deen. Do not cause, not ikhtilaf. One thing is causing ikhtilaf, differences of opinion. Allah did not use the word of ikhtilaf. لَا تَخْتَلِفُوا فِيهِ. لَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. comes from the word firqa. Do not make groups. Do not separate yourself from people. Do not make yourself a different group of people and tell yourself that, you know what, we're not going to hang around with those guys. Do not separate the ummah. One meaning of تتفرقوا فيه. Second meaning, ولا تتفرقوا فيه. Do not cause separation in the deen. Meaning, do not cause separation in the commandments that Allah has given me. It is easy for me to pray salat, so I pray salat. It is hard for me to stop watching movies, so I watch movies. It is easy for me to read Quran, so I read Quran. It is hard for me to respect my parents, so be it. It is easy for me to wake up for tahajjud, so I do it. It is hard for me to make dua at nighttime, so be it. It is easy for me to respect my parents, so I do it. It is hard for me to stop listening to music. Who cares? Causing separation in the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given us a divine religion. A divine religion which has been perfected from all angles. No trend, no fad, any type of people come or any type of groups come, they cannot make this religion better. They cannot, through any glitter or glamour, perfect this religion. أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ. 1400 plus years ago, my Allah told my Rasul that your religion has been perfected. Your religion is established. Your religion is perfect. But establish your religion. Today the problem is, sometimes we feel like we're establishing religion, but in reality we're establishing culture. Sometimes we feel like we are doing something because of religion, but if I look deep down inside my heart, I'm doing it because of culture. I'm doing it because this is the rasm in Pakistan. I'm doing it because my grandfather did it. I'm doing it because all my relatives do it. This is why I'm doing it. We call a Mulana Sahib or Mufti Sahib to do our nikah. Are we really doing it because this is the sunnah way to do it? Or are we doing it because it's the culture? It's the culture. We go for Eid once a year, twice a year. Are we really doing it because of the sunnah of Eid? Or are we doing it because, you know what? When I was a kid, my dad took me for Eid too. Aqimu deen. Establish deen. Allah is not telling us to establish culture. Allah doesn't care about my culture or your culture or anyone's culture for that sake. Allah cares about His deen. Allah has given us a task to establish deen. Now, once we create a line between deen and culture and we start establishing culture, then we cause separation in deen. Then we start separating and compromising our deen. We say to ourselves that, you know what? At least I pray. Yeah, you know what? I can't stop doing this, but at least I pray, right? At least I pray. I can't read the Quran, but at least I make dua. I can't respect my parents, but at least I go for Fajr Salat once a day. I can't go for Jum'ah, but at least I go for Eid. Causing separation in the commandments of Allah subhanahu. Allah has given us one deen, one religion, one way of life. There is no other way which can take over this way. There is no other path which can compromise this path. Tatafarraq, making firqas, causing differences of opinions, and saying to each other, you know what? Today, I don't feel like doing this, so I won't do it. Is that establishing deen? Today, I am too tired to go for Fajr, so I won't do it. Just forget about it. Causing separation in deen in both ways. Causing separation in deen in both ways, we are denying and going against the second task which Allah has given us and to all the Prophet ﷺ. First one being establishing deen in our lives. Starting from myself. How am I being an integrated person in society? I am an integrated person in society. How am I, through my talents, in my social experience, how am I positively causing a difference in this community? How? I have friends that have not prayed for 10 years. Are they praying now? I have family members, my own brother and sister, have been not praying, they haven't prayed Fajr for 15, 20 years. Have I done anything for them? Have I given them some da'wah? Have I called them towards Allah? Have I told them the right from the wrong, and the dark from the light, and the haqq from the batil? Ask ourselves, are we too scared? Are we cowards? Aqeem ad-deen. establishing deen starting from here, starting from my heart. إِذَا صَلُحَتْ صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. The Prophet said, أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً. Indeed, inside the body, there is one piece of flesh. There is one piece of flesh. إِذَا صَلُحَتْ صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. If that one piece of flesh is taken care of, is perfected, everything else in the body will be taken care of. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ. And if this flesh, or this piece, or this organ, or this limb has been corrupted, then forget about it. The whole body has been corrupted. Whole body has been corrupted, physically and spiritually. Physically, if I have a heart attack, my whole body will ache. Physically, if I have heart problems, my whole body will be going through some problem physically. But even spiritually, the Prophet says, if this heart has gone haywire, if this heart has gone off the path, then we are in for a long haul. We are in for a long ride, fixing the heart from the beginning and establishing this deen, not culture. I'm not talking about my culture or your culture. We're talking about deen. How many times have we heard from our own parents, our own relatives, aunties, uncles, from our own mouth sometimes? Yeah, let's do this, man. You know, my dad will be happy. Let's do this, man. Let's go for Eid. My dad used to go for Eid and takes me for Eid. How many times have you heard that? Are we doing it for culture? Are we doing it for Allah? Are we establishing deen? Are we establishing culture? Before we do an act of goodness, and before we take out this task that Allah has given us, we have to question ourselves. We have to pose this question to myself and to ourselves. Why am I doing it for? And then we have to make sure every single one of these commandments are followed, or we try to follow them. No one's perfect. We try to follow them. Sometimes we're going to finish the ayah off, and we'll finish. We, as youngsters in this society, we say to ourselves, man, let me compromise one portion of my deen. For example, the sunnah. Let me compromise the sunnah because maybe it will affect the non-Muslims. Maybe they will see me and say, oh man, this guy's not that bad. He dresses like us. He's one of us. Maybe if I dress like them, maybe if I talk like them, maybe if I live like them, they will accept me, and maybe they will be encouraged and motivated by my religion. Sometimes this comes to our mind. It comes to all of our minds. Yeah, don't be off, man. These guys think we're extremists. Take it off. Don't piss off right now. You're at college. Everyone's going to see you. People are going to think you're extremists. Allah answers this question for us already. كَبُرَ عَلَى الْمُشْرِكِينَ مَا تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَيْهِ. It is impossible, or nearly impossible, that if you compromise your religion, and if I compromise with my religion, it will affect those non-Muslims. Kabura, it is very hard upon them. It is very hard for them to accept this religion by you compromising it. So how will they be guided? How will Allah give them guidance? How will they come towards Islam? Not by me compromising my religion. Not by me compromising my sunnah, my way of life, or my deen. Allah says, Allahu yajtabi ilayhi man yasha wa yahdi ilayhi man yunib. Allah says, listen, that task is not for you. That task is not for you. Your task is qimuddin, establishing your deen, and not causing separation within the deen. That's my task. As for the non-Muslims, that's for me to handle. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. Our Prophet has been told, you cannot guide who you want. You cannot guide who you love. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah will guide whosoever He likes to guide. Whosoever He pleases to guide, He will guide. My compromising my religion, my being accepted in their social circle, my being accepted in their groups will not make a difference. Be true to ourselves. Be true to ourselves. It will not affect them. It's affecting me. It's affecting me. It's like when we want to save a friend or a person which is far from deen. The question we have to pose to ourselves is that, is this going to affect me or him? How do I ask myself this question? For example, there's a fire burning. There is a fire burning. And there is someone which is burning in that fire, who is burning in that fire. I want to save that person with my heart and brain. I want to save him so bad. He's burning in front of me. But I will make a conscious decision, and I will think critically, and I will say to myself that if I try to save this person from the fire and not getting harmed myself and not burning myself to death, I will save him from this fire because I can control this fire from him. But if I go forward to save this individual from the fire and I also burn in the fire, what's the use? Then I will stay back and I will wait for someone who is better suited for this job than me. I will wait for someone who is better suited for this job than me, meaning he's wearing more thicker clothes. Firefighter comes and then he saves that person from this fire. Similarly, if we see a friend, a human being, non-Muslim, whoever it is, he is turning off the path of deen. If I feel that I can help this guy without being affected, then I must help this person. But if I feel that if I go help this person and I will be affected negatively, then I stand back and wait for someone who has more yaqeen than me, who has more iman than me, and they will come and they will help this individual. First thing first, in life, we started off with the 4 factors. In life, whenever we pursue a job, we look at 4 things. The employer, which is the boss. How good is the boss? Location, how far do I have to commute for this job? The income, salary, and last but not least, the former employees of this job. Once we find these 4 factors in a job to our liking, we will pursue this job. But Allah has given us all these 4 factors in the best of them for this job. And we do not have to send a resume or send a resume for this job. Allah has given it to us for free. Allah says, every one of you are capable for that job that was given to Musa and Isa and Ibrahim, alayhi peace be upon their souls. Where do we rank with them? Nowhere close. But Allah says, you have been given this same task. Now it is up to you and me. It's up to you and me to stop talking about people and do some work. Build some substance within ourselves. Build some qualities. We have enough fake people walking around in this world. We have enough fabricated and polluted people walking around this earth. We have to create some qualities within myself. What type of qualities do I have? तू इधर उधर की बात ना कर, ये बता कि काफिला क्यों लुटा, मुझे रहज़नों से गिला नहीं, तेरी रहबरी का सवाल है. Please stop talking about others. Let's create qualities within myself, starting from my heart. Build my yaqeen, build my belief, build my taqwa, build my tawakkul, build my belief, and then Allah will make it easy for us to perform this task. Every job requires some type of utensils and some types of things that will help us with this job. The utensils and the qualities that are required for this job that Allah has given us is that we fix our heart first. We look inside myself. अपने मन में डूब कर पा जा चुराग़ ज़िंदगी, तो अगर मैं नहीं मनता अपना तो बन. Look inside the mirror and say to myself that, listen, where does my iman stand today? Where does my taqwa stand today? Where does my tawakkul and trust in Allah stand today? Where is it? And if we feel, and we all must feel the same, that we are lacking these qualities, we must work upon them. Create substance and qualities. Once we create this substance inside of ourselves, Allah will make this task that He had given the prophets easy for us to do. And then the reward will also be given to us, which is such as Jannah, and a beautiful life, a glamorous life, a prosperous life. But the work must be done. Work must be done. Without work, without results, the reward is incomplete. When we strive for this work and we put our heart in for this work, starting from my heart, then Allah will give us this reward without holding back. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you and I all of the tawfiq to act upon this established deen. Forget culture, establish deen. Establishing deen in my life, in my family's life. Enough of the rasumat, the rasams, and the traditions of my background, of my people. No. Islam does not look at that. Islam looks at what's your intention for doing this act. And we have to establish deen. لا فضل لعربي على عجمي ولا عجمي على عربي إلا بتقوى الله. There is no higher rank for an ajam on an Arab, or an Arab on an ajam, due to or based upon where they're from, their traditions, their culture. No, Allah says no, that does not make a difference. The taqwa inside of our heart, the consciousness of Allah inside of our heart, that's what makes the difference. That's what makes us greater people in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all want to be great in the eyes of people. We all want to succeed in my job. We all want to be the best at whatever we do. Do we not want to be the best in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We want to be the best at our work, be the best employee of the month. We want to be the best student in our class. No, he's the best student in the class this month. Best marks. He has the highest marks this year. We all strive for this. To a certain extent, we want to be the best hockey player on the court or basketball player on the court. To that extent, it's natural. It is within the DNA of a human being for this. Do we not want to be the best in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. By building consciousness, by building qualities within this heart of mine, Allah says, you are the greatest human being in my eyes. So Allah give me the tawfiq, all of you the tawfiq to act upon this, bring it into our lives. It's nice seeing you all after so long. I was actually in town for a couple of days. So Mufti Saab actually called him, just tell him I was in town and try to get a meeting to meet him. And he requested me to do the daras. And of course, we can't do the same job as Mufti Saab, but we tried. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first give me the ability to act on what I said, because my tongue is closer to my ears than yours, and give us tawfiq to convey this to those that are not here. Jazakallah khair wa alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.